Temporary orders are critical in your Massachusetts divorce. They will affect you now and in the future. In this episode, we'll discuss everything you need to know to protect your rights. Going into a divorce is scary. Your life is changing fast. Everything is up in the air. Temporary orders are when a judge decides who lives in your home, where your children will stay, who will pay support, and how much. Those decisions will be in place during your divorce and will likely affect the final outcome. We can help you through this process without costing you a fortune. Together, we can protect your rights so you can get on with your new life. What are temporary orders? Well, they are orders by the court. They are temporary in nature, just as the name would suggest. They have the full force and effect as any court order does. So it's not up to you whether you want to obey those orders or not. They must be obeyed. Those orders will be in place during the course of your divorce, before the final decree is entered. They will also have a very big impact on the final decree, especially if there are children involved. How are divorce temporary orders issued? Well, it all starts with filing a motion. A motion is basically a document that goes before the court, and the person making the motion is asking the court to do certain things. That motion must be served on the other party, so your spouse in this case. They must be put on notice and have an opportunity to be heard. It allows them to respond. There will be a hearing that's scheduled. At that hearing, you will present evidence before the judge and asking things such as who's going to live in the house and who's going to pay alimony and child support if that's applicable. The judge then decides, and that order is in place. What to expect at the temporary orders hearing? The hearing can take a long time, depending on how complicated the issues are. You should prepare for that hearing as if it's a trial. There will be witnesses that are called. Both you and your spouse may testify. Other witnesses may be called as well, especially if you want to bring in somebody that can testify as to your fitness as a parent. Exhibits may be offered into evidence, such as documents or photographs. Witnesses will first undergo direct examination. That's where questions are asked by the attorney who called that person to the stand. The next thing that happens is cross-examination. So let's say we call you as a witness in your own hearing. You'll go up before the judge. We will ask you questions about the issues before the court. Then the other side has an opportunity to cross-examine you. That means ask questions while you're under oath. Cross-examination can be very intimidating, and it's important that you're prepared for that cross-examination. Once all the testimony is entered and any exhibits are entered, the judge will make a decision. Sometimes the judge makes a decision from the bench. Sometimes the judge will take the matter under advisement and issue an order later. What issues can be addressed at the temporary orders hearing? Well, most of the issues in your divorce can also be addressed at this stage. Things such as who will have the exclusive use and control of the marital home. Another big issue is who pays the bills, such as the mortgage or the rent for your home. Who pays the taxes? How about insurance? And who will pay the utilities? Other issues that will be addressed will be such things as child custody, child support, and parenting time. Keep in mind that any decision by the court at the temporary order setting will have a great impact in how the final decree may come out. Spousal support or alimony, as well as health insurance, can also be addressed at the temporary order hearing. Before we get back to addressing temporary orders, I just want to let you know that at Afford Law, our fees are all based on your income. So the less you make, the less you pay. We don't want you to have to go through this alone. Feel free to go to affordlaw.org/checklist for a checklist of the 7 most important things you should be considering while going through your divorce. What happens after temporary orders are issued? Well, once they're issued, those orders are in place. As I said before, they have the full force and effect of any other court order. They will be in place during your divorce. It also has a major impact on the final order. The court kind of takes on the attitude of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, especially when it comes to children. The court doesn't want to upset their routine. So if your custody arrangements are going well with your children, the court is more likely to keep those orders in place for the final order. Can you modify temporary orders? Well, temporary orders are modifiable. As with all modifiable issues in a divorce, you must show first that there has been a substantial change in circumstances. If you're trying to modify anything involving the children, such as child support, child custody, or parenting time, you also must show the court that the change that you're looking for is in the best interest of the children. Although changing temporary orders is possible, it's not always likely. Part of that is because of the court's schedule. It's sometimes difficult to get back in front of the court to make a change in a temporary order. Also, the courts kind of take a hands-off approach. Once the temporary order is issued, unless there's some sort of major issue, the court is satisfied that they've addressed the issue already and that all is well. However, emergency orders are possible. So if some sort of emergency comes up, especially if you or your child are in danger, you can get before the court in a very short period of time to address that issue and keep everybody safe. What if my spouse violates the temporary order? Well, if your spouse is in violation of the order, you can bring them before the court on a contempt hearing. You'll have to file a motion and you'll have a hearing. Basically, what you have to show is that there is a valid order in place and that there has been a violation of that order. In addition, you must show that your spouse had the ability to obey the order, but they are willfully not doing so. If the court does find that they are in contempt, they can issue sanctions. They can change custody or parenting time. They can have the other party pay for the attorney's fees in bringing this motion, and ultimately they could be jailed if they continue to refuse to obey the court's order. I can't stress enough how important temporary orders are. They affect your present life as well as your future. Your living arrangements, your finances, and your children are greatly impacted. You need to get it right, and you may only get one shot at it. For more information on divorce in Massachusetts, please feel free to visit our next video.